Hi guys, how are things? It's Paul Merriman here from Ask Paul. So in this video I have 5 traps to highlight to you that are probably going to stop you from becoming wealthy quickly if you fall into them when you're in your 20s. Let's check them out. Moving out too soon is probably going to have to be top of the list. The reason for this, I see way too often people moving out of their parents' house to set up life on their own a little bit too soon. I'm not a big advocate of people living with their parents until their 30s or 40s. But you're maybe 21, 22 or 25, whatever the age you are, it's important to try and give it always an extra 6 months or a year. Because if you move out and you're paying $1,000 a month in rent, that's 12 grand a year. You're probably going to have to earn an income of about 18 grand or maybe even 20 grand a year to get that 12 grand into your back pocket. So what the extra year at home does is allows you go on the offense when you leave home. It allows you to set up that business, go travel and meet more people, whatever you plan to do with your life. So always try and stretch out the pain of living at home with your parents, just for one more year that puts more money in your back pocket to go on the offense. Cars. Let's go to spade spade. Anyone knows me and followed me for a long time knows I love my cars. I have since I was a kid. However, I will confess to waste a lot of money on cars over the years. The one thing I could do differently in my 20s is not to buy so many cars and not to waste so much money on cars that are probably now in a scrapyard somewhere, if not already burned to a cinder. So I think it's very, very important that you don't try and take on debt to have a car. So what I mean by debt is taking a car loan, for argument's sake. If you're in your 20s, you need to keep your cash. When you go to work and you exchange your time for money, the old saying, time is money. When you do that, the last thing you want to be doing when you get paid is paying somebody else, i.e. a bank, for a car that you probably can't afford. Now, if you've saved up for years and years and years and you're buying your own car with cash and that's what you want to do, knock yourself out, but just don't have a loan against it. Also remember that a car is a depreciating asset that goes down in value all the time. Typically speaking, unless you buy a 1982 Porsche 911C, that's going to go up in value. Gambling. Gambling's a big one. Don't do it. Just don't do it. The bookie's always going to win. And I mean always. Very, very important that when you're in your maybe late teens or 20s that you don't fall into the trap of downloading a gambling app and trying to gamble on who's going to take the next corner, who's going to get the next yellow card. This is pure mental madness in my opinion. What you're better off doing is every week putting €50 into maybe a cryptocurrency, into an investment account. Check out the Ask Paul Investment Club. Putting your money anywhere else but gambling. The other problem you're going to have, just to throw it out there, is that if you do go for a mortgage application eventually and it being gambling and seeing gambling on your application or on your statements for 6 months prior to your mortgage, you're not going to get a mortgage most likely. So gambling, big no-no for me. Never been a big fan of it. Don't do it. Gonna say this the way it is, spending money on stupid shit, generally speaking, it's gonna be the likes of clothes, expensive clothes, living like an absolute millionaire while you're living in your parents' box room. This just doesn't make sense, guys. So please, 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 always remember, try and keep a lid on expenses and discretionary spend. Again, all this is to make sure you go on the defense. Now, I'm a big believer in balance when it comes to finance. I'm not trying to get anybody to live miserable and not just shop at pennies all the time. But what I would suggest is having a budget on a monthly basis, sticking to that budget. And if you are planning on buying something really fancy in the future, trying to save for it, avoid store cards and avoid credit cards clearly for clothes. That doesn't make any sense again. Keeping up with your friends or keeping up with the Joneses. Now guys, we all know we shouldn't be going on Instagram to compare ourselves to other people that are out there. Or your friends, your neighbours. Keeping up with the Joneses. Number 1, it's not good for your self-esteem, and number 2, it's not good for your wallet. So 2 negatives. Very, very important that you don't start funding a fake lifestyle to impress people that you don't really care about, or probably don't really care about you if truth be told. So it's really, really, really important that you think about yourself before anybody else. Not to get too American and too corny here, a vision board. Set up a vision board where you want to be in 2 years time, 5 years time, 10 years time. And if you want to look at somebody else, look at yourself. Check in with your vision board and make sure that you're on track to become the best version of you, not an Instagram version. Expensive relationships. So what I mean by this, if you meet somebody, it's very, very easy to get carried away in the first few months trying to express your love for somebody maybe by buying stupid things. I can actually testify to this because my wife, Sarah, met me when I was completely broke. So the relationship was built on pure love rather than me buying her stupid stuff because I hadn't got a pot to piss in. Very, very seriously though, if you're in a relationship with somebody and you're starting off, it's very, very easy to get carried away. Try and ease off the spending, and try and do the old-fashioned way, spending more time together. Hope you enjoyed that video. Next week, we're going to be talking about the top 5 signs that you're good with your money. And in order to make sure you don't miss that video, 3 things to do: the like button, the subscribe button, and hit the bell so you're notified when that video's out next week. Have a good one.